Thank you for taking this moment to breathe and to listen to what can change your life forever. My name is Ragnar Zinikas, and I'm the founder of Starpreneurs TV, How to Dominate the Decade talk show, World Women Conference and Awards, the creator of Coral Desk, the coach of the change makers, and the co-author of the book From Zero to Success. My mission is to empower through education, and I want to thank you who you took time today to be here because you're investing in yourself, in your personal growth. And thank you for joining us today. Today, it is my distinct honor to bring to you Nadiya Manji. I hope I didn't mix up the name. She's a master coach, international speaker, author, trainer, and consultant. So let's hear her story and why is she doing what she's doing. So welcome to the How to Dominate the Decade. So, Nadine, tell us your story.
Thank you, Renee, for this opportunity. As you all heard, my name is Nadiya Community. If you forget my name, you can remember that sports lady, Nadiya Community. My name is Nadiya. So I'm very, very honored to come and share my story. It's a great platform. I've been watching you and you've been doing great work, so I appreciate. Coming back to my story, so one of the biggest pain we all have is to fit in. We all try really hard to fit in, and my story is not different than any one of us. Is that trying to fit into the society when you are changing countries and continents, and all that the deep issue we have is belongingness, because that's our need for survival. We all want to feel connected. We all want to feel belong. And as I was moving continents where I was born, then where I spent my life and had my children, and then coming to Canada, moving around different continents from Asia to Africa to North America, there was one pain that I had, was that belongingness, that how do I belong to people and connect with people? This first pain started when I was born, and I was super intuitive, very intuitive into people's, tapping into people's feelings and tapping into situations. So it was really hard for me to survive. So I didn't belong into this normal circumstances, and people would always exclude me, that she's different, or she doesn't understand, or she's this. So it kind of takes you to a labeling place, right? And when you become a label, it becomes a challenge to belong. And then life takes on. I moved around continents, became an entrepreneur with my husband, trying to do businesses. And businesses fail. There's no guarantee, right? It's like you start a project. How it's going to end, we don't know. We hope it ends well, but it never always ends well. Circumstances and unpredictability is always there. So that led to my story from the beginning of that pain that I had of belongingness, going into business and trying and level my best and coming up and feeling that the connection was missing, because it's not always about business, it's about you. How are you presenting yourself? How are you connecting to mission, your purpose, your goals, your vision? And it all showed up when the failures started coming in. And going through that up and down and the rise and fall of life, that's when I realized that how do people start the journey, and when they fail, what happens to them? It's our programming. And I had to work on myself internally to bring myself back, because it wasn't the business failing. It was me who was failing. So I needed to understand. And when I understood that part, that my story is not different from other people, it's just that I figured it out and others haven't. So that became my story, that I want to help people overcome their internal barriers to redesign, reprogram, and rewire their story, rewire their lives in life and business, so they can actually come up and align themselves for the true success they deserve.
So going through all of those moving from one place to another, and and really searching for the being connected and all of that, what would you say, like what is your passion and what is your purpose? And I'm pretty sure that those were two key words which also help you to break through or break out,
Yes.
or whatever,
Yes.
however you call it, nah?
Yeah, it's passion is all about it. We are who we are. We are not, like, if we see someone climbing It's not necessarily we are going to climb the same way. So what my passion became that every individual is different, is unique, and everyone deserves to have the unique design, customized program. Because we see a lot of coaches, a lot of people come and they all say you can do this, and a lot of people manage and some don't. But those who don't, it's like you require the personalized, individualized program. So my passion is to help you intuitively, and also with my education, how to design the personal program for your personal and professional success. And that's really passionate for me, that how am I going to bring this value into your life and help you reprogram and rewire, because we are wired in certain way. If you ask a sports person, he's wired in a certain way to get his goals. If you ask a businessman, he's wired in a certain way to get the business or personal goals. So they're all intertwined. And every individual is super unique. And my passion is to help you design that unique platform and roadmap for you. That's my passion. And I help you rewire in your life and business.
Beautiful. But what would you say, like now, as you have been teaching and also helping a lot of entrepreneurs and individuals with your coaching, and by the way, what does master coach or
Master transformational master coach is,
yeah.
it means like I have been through the, there's a credential part, which is your IQ part, and then there's the EQ part, that the experience you've had. A lot of people talk about resilience or their story, but if they haven't been through it, they don't know. So you become the master of that situation, that how to bounce back, how to transform, that every level you're going to be the caterpillar turning into butterfly. Every step of your life, you're going to be feeling that the next step is not going to be able to take. So master coach is who has actually mastered the skill, the transformational skill, that at any situation, whether it's your personal life, your professional life, you're able to transform the adversity into opportunity. And that's who is the master coach. That's the person who knows how to transform herself, himself, and you. So that's how I present myself, the master of this title.
Okay, so would you say that this is also that how you distinguish yourself in
Yes,
business?
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
but how do you distinguish yourself in life?
How it's my internal abilities, the way I have figured it out. How I distinguish is connection. For me, everything, even recently I wrote an article on LinkedIn, it's about emotional intelligence. Everybody talks about, but the fifth element we are missing is connection. We don't have time to connect with people. We are so connected to our product, our lifestyle, our status, that we don't pay attention to what connects us. We become like a plug to the computer. Oh, this is my buyer. Let's plug in and start the program, But for me, what distinguishes me is my intuitive ability, the human essence in life, that I connect to people and relate to people. And that's what excites me. That's what makes me who I am. That's what makes me that I'm able and capable of relating it to you. And that's true connection. It's not about connecting and listening to your story. Yeah, that's very sad. It's being there, feeling it. Because it's not easy that when you're differently born. Ask a child who has ADHD. Ask the child who has difficulty. Ask them how it feels to be in this world. Ask people who fail in business when society starts treating you differently. Ask those women who are not able to conceive a child, or ask anybody who's not able to do things, how they feel. And when you've been through all these challenges in your life, ups and downs, you actually relate better to people. And you will not be able to relate to every area of everybody's life, but there are certain areas that you're able and capable of connecting. And that's what makes you authentic. And that's what makes me distinguish, that I want to be authentic in what I do as an intuitive person, or as a connecting, that I have the aspect of physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, all alignment. That's what I believe in. That if any aspect is missing, then you're not going to be experiencing that true potential of yourself.
Couldn't be more agreed. So, but let's go to this secret source for our entrepreneurs, and let's see what advice can you give them. So, can you share your advice as leadership coach? What are the common challenges entrepreneurs find building a successful business?
So yeah, it's again goes back to my story and the people around the world I've worked with, right? That there are challenges, there's some common challenges I felt. And one is that learning to say no. Because we don't know how to say no. Everything coming our way, we want to jump into opportunity because we want to make it happen. because we want to reach certain way, and we start saying yes to people, yes to opportunities, yes to even toxicity. We just say yes. So that's a very big challenge for entrepreneurs, or even executives probably have established that level. But entrepreneurs, when they are leading the journey from entrepreneurship to the executive level, they have to go through this part where they need that clarity, right? That this clarity they need so much, that what is it that I want and what I should say no to. And that's where I have these 3 words that I advise to the entrepreneurs, that if they can manage what worked for me. If I look at from the challenges, there's a long list. And again, I said it's personalized challenge. Some people say money is the challenge. Some people say people is the challenge. Some people blame the environment. Some people blame politics. So every entrepreneur, it depends on the environment where they are and what their goals are. So their challenges will not be like much different, but yet uniquely different to themselves. So generally, everybody will talk about general challenges. I'm sure many speakers have come and they talk about the challenges we get into this challenge or what. I focus more on the solution. So yes, your challenge will be individualized, particularly unique to you in that situation. But what you really, really need is a commitment. It's a commitment to finish it. Because most of the entrepreneurs don't finish it. They start, something goes wrong, drop it, start again. That's not entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is something you believe in and you want the world to see it. That's entrepreneurship to me. That you believe in a product, a service, or a project, and you want to believe in so much that it's so inspiring that other people start believing. And you help other people to understand that. So commitment is very important thing, and that's a challenge that entrepreneurs have. They give up too easily. They say, oh, this is not working out, let's just give up. And when I reached those stages in my life, what was my strength was commitment. I was committed to pass through the challenges. It was not about what kind of business I was running. How many businesses have failed? If I start my story, the session will go very long. That how many times I've been broke in my life. And I said I was broke, but not broken. So commitment is one thing, that they have challenges with commitment. They're committed to their goals. The second challenge we all meet is consistency. That we don't want to be consistent. We want to just zigzag. Today we are doing, tomorrow we are not doing. Consistency means that I'm willing, wanting, and ready to commit myself to be consistent on my goals, what I want to reach and where I want to reach. And that's where the clarity starts coming. When you are committed, when you're consistent, you don't need external approval. You don't need external applaud. You begin to validate yourself that I believe in, that's enough. It's like when you're hungry, don't you eat? You're the one who knows when you're full. You're the one who knows when you're hungry. So you become more aware of yourself. You get a lot of clarity with these 2 pillars, that if you are able to overcome the understanding or challenges when are related to commitment or consistency, it's going to break you through. It's going to give you that clarity that you're looking for. So a lot of entrepreneurs, they get trapped into these things, that what does consistency mean when they come to me? How do I be consistent? I get demotivated. My motivation goes away. Challenge, which is mainly, is the communication, that they need to learn this communication skill, that how to communicate, how to put your message out right. What is the clarity you're telling people that you're bringing in? And I love the way you asked me the question, why do you call yourself a master coach? You wanted to understand that. That's called clarity. If somebody's listening to me on this talk, when we have the interview, they're going to understand that why is she calling herself master coach? It's not about putting yourself higher or putting yourself superior. It's about being clear in what am I master about? What is my mastery in? And that's what I like to present. So as an entrepreneur myself and other entrepreneurs, if you can understand the aspect of communication, consistency, and commitment, those challenges I feel that people are facing right now, most of them, it's not about the ideas, it's not about the time management or attitude. They all are very, like, we have so much material outside that can help us to learn and educate ourselves.
So we talked about the challenges. Now let's go to the other side, which is how can we give them the secret sauce of success through some successful leadership principles. So how entrepreneurs can really dominate in their marketplace when it comes to successful leadership principles?
So one of the things, again, the success which has helped me always is managing my sacrifices. You know, people say manage your time, manage your commitments. But sacrifice, what are you willing to sacrifice? Be very clear about it. That is something is going to be like, if you want to do, like, for example, you're running this channel or I'm running my coaching practice, there are sacrifices. We all do sacrifice. Success doesn't come without sacrifice. So if you can manage and prioritize your sacrifices, that this is what I'm willing to sacrifice today, and this is what I'm not willing to sacrifice today, you can definitely, priority is a key word here. Prioritize, prioritize, prioritize. What is the priority of the day? If you can align that, it will solve so much problem, so much declutter will happen, because once your focus goes, energy travels there. Where the focus goes, energy travels. So priority is a main thing. That is one. Second, again, comes fill yourself. It's like we always say, I want to live a fulfilled life. What is fulfilled life? It's fill your cup to fill others. In my book, I've talked about it. Full and fill means fill yourself so you can fill others. Never keep your tank empty. If you're tired, if you're feeling burnout, make sure that you get up. You get up and you pause and say, I need to fill my cup. I need to fill myself to fill others, whatever I'm doing. So make sure you take good self-care, self-love, all that thing after priority. Once you've prioritized, you make sure you don't neglect yourself. You make sure you fill yourself authentically, that yes, if I'm full, I'm going to be able to give. If you've eaten breakfast, if you're full with energy, how do you perform? It's all good. So that's really a good goal for yourself, that you, if you are really going to commit yourself to filling yourself so you can fill and fill others. And the third one, which is my favorite one, is be willing to accept. Be willing to accept your vulnerabilities. Be willing to accept that this is where I am challenged. This ego is a very big part of our personalities as entrepreneurs, because failure means you don't know anything. Anybody will be in a situation when they feel like, oh, you don't know this, and that's it. Our ego goes so big that we stop and shut ourselves down. So be willing to embrace the vulnerable side, because when you are in that stage, you become more creative. So if these three things, when people can understand, prioritizing, filling your cup and giving it to others, and embracing your vulnerabilities, you will be able to see that any challenge, like when I had no money, there was a time when I had no money to even buy a burger. And I would look at it and I would tell myself that I'm willing to sacrifice this burger for my kids today, but not tomorrow. Today is a sacrifice for my burger for my kids, but tomorrow we all can share. I made sure I took care of myself. I gave myself positive self-talk. And vulnerability, I shared the vulnerability with people who are my mentors. I reached out to like-minded people. I reached out to the community I belong and right people. If you have the right resources, if you are resourceful, you will not go wrong. Because challenges will come. Like anxiety, challenges, problems, it's all inevitable, right? It's going to come. Whether it's life or it's business, you wake up a day, sudden unpredictable thing is going to happen. No day starts with a guarantee of success, and no day ends with a guarantee of failure. So have that commitment.
Those are great great advice, and I really hope that you have your pen and paper in front of you and you are making some notes. So tell us about your coaching program, because I also saw that on top of being the leadership coach, you are also alignment coach. And what does alignment coach do?
So I start with this example, like a pair of socks. Can you wear one sock red and one green? We don't do that unless we are doing Christmas.
Well, there are actually some quite a number of people who do it because to entertain others.
The general analogy of socks is a pair, that there will be some similarity and they'll be put together, right? So alignment is like that professional and personal alignment is like a pair of socks. You have one pair and you can't separate them. So when I become alignment, it's my favorite part, aligning teams, aligning goals, aligning families, aligning marriages. Like alignment is a part where you have a problem. So a lot of the time when I work with executives, celebrities, or if I worked with the entrepreneurs, I first try and look at every area of their lives. And where is misalignment? And that's my Rewire Your Pathway program that I do with executives and entrepreneurs, whoever is willing to work with me, that they have to go through these alignment coaching steps. And once I know where you're misaligned, then I can create the proper structure for your leadership in life and business. So without alignment, I would struggle, and so would you. So once you know where you're misaligned, you'll be able to create the whole graphics of your leadership, because you have your strength and you have your weaknesses. And once you are able to accept that, you are able to grow. And that's where I do the alignment coaching program. And it's one of my successful products, that people start with their personal and they take me to professional, or they start with professional and take me to personal, because then they see the value, and then it builds the every area of their lives.
Beautiful. So you mentioned briefly your book. So tell us more about that.
Wow, that's a very touchy topic to my heart. Book is, I was like everybody, go, 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 go in life, run, run, run. Just before like COVID, we all were. And this accident happened in my life, where I was in a car accident with my friend. She was driving. I was in Kenya at that time. And we were driving. We just left for dinner. And 5 minutes into the drive, there was a car and we had a head-on accident. And for a few minutes, I just couldn't figure out whether I'm inside the body or outside the body. Like there was disconnection. And I heard the noise, like it felt like voices were coming from very far. So I've shared this story that I came back, and how I jumped back to my normal life. It's like I never paid attention to what really happened to me. It was more about other people. It's more about showing up for other people, because we want to be strong and we want to show up in the world that we can do it. So I just jumped on it. And then when I was going back home, coming back to Canada, from Kenya to Canada, and Kenya is also my home. I've lived there, so I go for business there. I have a huge business clientele there. So I came back, and then I couldn't connect. I just couldn't connect. It was like something was missing. There was no balance. And that's where the alignment part, that something is misaligned. And then I wrote this book, that what exactly I went through, the void that I felt in my life, how much I was multitasking, what was the true meaning of physical pain, why does it come? So I've shared all this in my book, and it's called Searching for Balance. Anybody can buy it on Amazon. And it talks about my realizations. It talks about my challenges, how hard it was for me to get back to my life. It wasn't easy. All the opportunities were coming, but it's like, you're seeing, but you're not connecting. And that's where my purpose became more clear, that how important it is to align, how important it is to know that life is too short, the value of life, the value of people, the value of the relationships I had, my dreams, my aspirations, every part of my life. I had to dive into it. I had to literally go into each and every area of my life to reconnect. And that's where I call it Searching for Balance, because balance was out of the window. And at the same time, I got the TEDx, and the story began of the book, that when I did the TED Talk, and when I finished about alignment, because I was not going to take that opportunity, I was going to let it go, because I wasn't in the right frame of my mind. And the coordinator said that, this opportunity is lifetime. It doesn't come all the time. I think you should look into it. And then I forced myself to go into it. And as I was leaving the place for TEDx, I was putting on my jacket, and somebody came and asked me, do you have a book on this? Do you have anything that what you talked on TEDx, it was so inspiring. We would love to have a book about it. And then I said, time has come to write a book, to put my story out there. And that's when I did my story, and I wrote about the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual alignment, how important it is, and how we feel lost in our lives when something major happens. And I think for readers right now, after COVID, it's like everybody experienced what I experienced after my accident. It's very similar. So this book is very relevant for the times now, that once you read, you can relate to it, your priorities.
Beautiful. So what do you see? What the future will bring you professionally and also personally?
Very good question. Very few people ask that, right? Because we are always working about other people's goals, other people's aspirations. So I really want to help people connect. I really, really want to help people to rewire their conditioning, like how they're conditioning to live. They're programmed to serve the society or the way world expects them to, but they forget that truly who they are and what they really are supposed to do. So that is where the future holds for me. So many and many people I meet, many places I speak, like my dream to speak at places where I can actually bring out this experience to people to listen and motivate them. And I see that my program is one of a kind. It will bring a lot of value to people. I'm very confident. I'm very confident that future holds great things for me. That my goal is to write more books, speak around the world, and reach out to as many people. And there's no right or wrong program. I appreciate every coach, every speaker who puts the ads, the value. It's about what resonates. So we say that all chocolates are good, but mine is favorite is Cadbury's, and Cadbury becomes that chocolate, right? So it's like all the whole menu of chocolate or the whole menu of coaching programs are there. But I want to inspire people to self-coach. So I basically see my future helping families, helping businesses, helping relationships and people personally and professionally, bringing that added value to their life as in if they hire me. That's my goal.
So before Nadiya will tell us her 3 recommendations how to dominate the decade. Whoever you're watching, then please, if you have any questions, comments, recommendations, or you have gone through the similar experience, please leave the note below the video. Once it premieres, we are going to take a look on every single question, and we're going to answer those questions. So be engaged and also give your feedback. And in your 3 recommendations, how to dominate the decade.
Number 1, my favorite, emotional intelligence. You can be as smart as you want. You can learn skills. You can do anything. But if you want to run and dominate the decade, learn the aspect of emotion, the power of emotion, and be intelligent with your emotions and how they can affect and have the impact on you. So the emotional fitness is my number 1 that I want to really recommend for this decade. The second one is connection. Be there, be present for people, be in the now. If you want to, don't worry about too much about future. Did we believe that this kind of decade will come or this time will come where we are and we will have to reunite ourselves? And now we're looking for connection and now we're looking for people. Why don't we do it every day? Why don't we connect with people, give importance to right people who are important in our lives, our children, our family, our colleagues who we work with, and people and associates, the neighbors, everybody. So connection is my second highly recommendation for this decade, that if you are not connected, you will have challenges in the future. And the third one, which is really, really important, is the responsibility of self-coaching. Learn what is good for you. Learn every moment of your life. Learning is a thing that makes sure the area where your weaknesses are, don't sit with it. Move ahead, hire someone who can help you with this weakness. So believe in coaching, believe in hiring the mentor. It's like, these are not those times that we will be having a great teacher who will have the time to mentor us. These are not times that we'll be sitting with the neighbor and having a cup of coffee and that neighbor will be mentoring us all the time. We need coaches, we need right people. So for this decade, coaching is a key. So emotional intelligence. And what was the second one? If you were listening, Renee, let me ask you. Connection.
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute, so you were faster.
So connection, emotional intelligence, connection, and hiring your weaknesses. That is something I would highly, highly recommend in this decade. Because if you are not going to hire your weaknesses, and if you're not going to be committed to grow, you're not going to learn things that you really want to go ahead in life. And don't compete to put others down, compete to win yourself. Because when you can win yourself, you can win anything. So those are my really strong advice for this decade to dominate, that if you have these 3 things, you will find yourself somewhere landing in a good place.
Beautiful. So if someone wants to contact you, if someone wants to follow you, how they can do so?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram as Nadiya Manji. You can follow me on LinkedIn. You can buy my book. I'm on Facebook. I also have a page called Rewire Your Life with Nadiya, and you'll be able to find me there. And my contacts is info@nadiyamanji.com. You can email me there and look around. I'm there everywhere, talking to people, putting posts on Facebook every day. My stories are motivational quotes from all the leaders. On Rewire Your Life, I try and post my programs. And on Instagram, I'm pretty active. I post every day something informative for your emotional intelligence, for your connection, and for your continuous learning. Those are my goals to help people, and that's what I live with, right? That continuous learning. Make sure you're staying connected with your clients and people, and of course, emotional fitness is super important, because IQ you can learn, you can buy, but EQ you can't buy. You have to build, you have to learn, you have to practice.
Yeah, and usually you just need to wake up the little hero inside of you, because
Yes,
it
just the
has
hero
always
is
been
inside.
there, but we
Yeah.
are too, I think our belief system is one which doesn't really help us, and the other
Yes, the
one is,
belief system doesn't help, and that's where the specialized unique program I mentioned, that you could be coming from which culture, which genetics, or which mindset, it's topping you and you have no idea. With my all credentials, as you mentioned in my intro, which was, thank you, I'm honored that all of my credentials, like my NLP or my EQ or I'm a clinical hypnotherapist at the same time. So I know that this reprogramming is so important, that what you heard becomes your reality. What you believe becomes a dream then, you know. So make sure that you hear right, you speak right, and you understand your belief system. Own it. Own that system, because you're the only one who can change it.
yeah, it's actually so true. And I just a few days ago I was listening to a podcast which was quite interesting, and saying that you will never earn more than you defined, or the way that you identify yourself. And that put me to think a lot, like how much and especially our cultural backgrounds are affecting that, because
Mm-hmm.
in so many countries there's people that have always put to believe that only the very very physical hard work is the key to success, and not to really have the curiosity and have the open mindset, or even openness to dream big. Because it's like, since we start to learn the things, like whatever the age is what we are, then this is what is happening. So it was interesting to note that. But what would be the last final message to everybody that are listening today, and what you want them to take from this interview?
Well, I always end with my favorite quote, which I've written in my book as well, that change is inevitable. Transformation is a choice. You always have a choice. You always have a choice. If you today feel sad, you're choosing to feel sad. You can change it. Experience is part of the human experience. Pain is part of human experience. You will go through challenges, but choice, what will define you. So transformation is a choice. That's my words, the ending word, that change is inevitable, but transformation is a choice.
Beautiful. So thank you, Nadine, for taking this time to be with us from Canada. Also, you that you are watching, I hope that you did write down. If you didn't, go back to this video and take notes. But not just take notes, take also action on them. And by doing it, you become the hero of your own life, because you can actually change your life and live the life that you deserve and that always dreamed of. Maybe not always, but hopefully today you are dreaming of better life. You can become the hero also in someone else's life. How? By sharing this video, because we never know when there's a person who needs to hear exactly the advice that was given in this interview, the knowledge, the experience, going through different countries, not being able to connect, needing to go through an accident in order to really understand, okay, this is my life and this is now what I want to stand for the rest of my life. So become the hero of your life by taking action, and become the hero in someone else's life by sharing the video. I want to thank you that you're watching and you that you were contributing with all your knowledge to our audience. Thank you very much for taking the time and investing in us. Thank you.
Thank you.